From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Emily Joveski. Fires in Jasper National Park are bearing down from two directions on the historic Rocky Mountain town site of Jasper. Parks Canada spokesperson Katie Ellsworth says a fire to the north is 5 kilometers away, while another approaching from the south is 8 kilometers away.
We expect today that we're going to have strong winds continuing, and we expect that this will increase our fire behavior and fire growth on both fires on all flanks.
Ellsworth says no critical infrastructure in the town site has been destroyed, but she's unable to provide accurate estimates of any impacts outside Jasper because of smoky conditions. Meanwhile, a wildfire in southern British Columbia has destroyed at least 6 homes. Wildfire officials say crews are working to prevent the aggressive blaze from reaching the community of Spence's Bridge, about 180 kilometers northeast of Vancouver. Thousands of people protesting Israel's war in Gaza marched today in Washington, chanting "Free, Free Palestine," and police used pepper spray on some demonstrators while Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed Congress.
Benjamin Netanyahu told American lawmakers that protesters of Israel's war on Hamas should be ashamed of themselves.
Some of these protesters hold up signs proclaiming gays for Gaza. They might as well hold up signs saying chickens for KFC.
Michigan Democrat Rashida Tlaib held up a sign which read "War Criminal." Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
A House of Commons committee is demanding documents from the federal government following the recent purchase of a $9 million luxury condo in New York for its consul general. Conservative MP Kelly Block called for the investigation, saying taxpayers who are going through a housing crisis deserve answers.
We have seen the complete lack of spending controls on major procurements. And every step along the way, this government has tried to cover up these consequences of their failed governance.
The committee meetings will hear from a handful of witnesses, including the Consul General to New York, Tom Clark, New York real estate agents, and possibly Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister. The governor of the Bank of Canada says more interest rate cuts could be on the way as the country edges back to the central bank's target of 2% inflation. The bank cut its key interest rate by a quarter point this morning, taking it down to 4.5%. And the National Advisory Committee on Immunization says children and youth between 9 and 20 years old should get 1 dose of HPV vaccine. It's maintaining its 2-dose recommendation for people 21 to 26 years old, and 3 doses for people who are immunocompromised and those living with HIV. Getting vaccinated against HPV helps to prevent several cancers. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Canadian women's soccer coach Bev Priestman removed herself from tomorrow's Olympic Games opener against New Zealand, and 2 staff members were sent home after drones flew over New Zealand's practice sessions. Canadian Olympic Committee CEO David Shoemaker says he believes the sanctions are sufficient for the game to go ahead.
We believe that these actions and the mandatory ethics education that we have imposed at least mitigate any advantage Canada may have had or be seen to have had against New Zealand football.
Track star Andre DeGrasse and Olympic weightlifting champion Maud Charon will carry Canada's flag into Friday's opening ceremonies of the Paris Olympics. And the Edmonton Oilers hired former Chicago Blackhawks executive Stan Bowman to serve as their general manager and vice president of hockey operations. From the Canadian Press, I'm Emily Joveski.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.